Chapter 6 Leaps and Bounds. Master? Master? Seeing Bai Haichan slumped to the ground, Fang Han called out several times in a row, but got no response. He had never expected this temporary master of his would die so suddenly, coming in a hurry and leaving just as quickly. Though they had known each other for less than 2 hours, Bai Haichan had taught him so much, broadened his horizons, and let him know how truly wondrous the vast world between heaven and earth was. The eternal sovereign he had once revered, emperors of dynasties, countless common people under their rule, all were nothing but playthings in the hands of immortal cultivation sections. Because Bai Haichan had shown him the true truth of the world, Fang Han still bore genuine affection for this master he had known for less than 2 hours. Yet the task Bai Haichan had left him was immensely difficult: steal the Immortal Ascension Sutra from Immortal sect, present it to the sect master of Xianxia Gate for great merit, and then convince the sect master to resurrect him. The sect masters of the 10 immortal sects commanded all across the world, capable of turning the tide of heaven and earth. Each could destroy a kingdom and wipe out a dynasty with a flick of a finger. They were immortal for 1,000 years and wielded immeasurable power. Stealing something from them was far easier said than done. Even a mere true disciple could reduce him to flying ash. Be that as it may, I must bury Master first. If the Fang clan finds him, I will be implicated and killed. His body has reached the 10th realm of mortal flesh, divine transformation. His flesh and bones are as tough as refined steel. They will not rot even buried, so I need not worry about his corpse being damaged. Fang Han hid Bai Haichan's body first, then found a hoe and secretly dug a large pit by the river to bury him. The dark golden robe on Bai Haichan's body was a treasure robe woven from golden silkworm thread, impervious to blades, spears, fire, and water. It perfectly wrapped his entire corpse, protecting it from erosion. After finishing all this, Fang Han let out a sigh of relief. He was a lowly horse-tending slave in the Fang clan. Though his status was low and feeding horses at night was hard work, he still had some free time to rest during the day. As long as no urgent matter like second Miss Fang Qingwei needing a horse at a moment's notice came up, it was fine if he was gone for a while. By the time he finished all this work, the sun was high overhead. It was already noon. In just one morning, both Fang Han's understanding of the world and his own body had undergone earth-shaking changes. If not for the steady streams of warm heat he felt coming from his chest, and the flood dragon subduing yellow spring map in his hand that proved his incredible encounter, he would have thought it was all just a dream. The flood dragon subduing yellow spring map was a legacy left by the Yellow Spring Emperor, the demon emperor of the demonic path, an extraordinary magic treasure. But Fang Han could not wield it yet. Even Bai Haichan did not know its full mysteries, so he could only keep it hidden for the time being. Deep in the dead of the night, all was silent and empty of people. Up! Fang Han lifted a 30 gene, 15 kilograms, blue boulder with both hands, then squatted down repeatedly. When he squatted as low as he could go, he leaped upward violently, just like a frog. This was a strength training method of the Fang clan called Golden Toad Dives into Water. It builds great physical strength, but it also consumes enormous stamina, and can easily sprain muscles and tendons, leading to permanent disability. Only those with an exceptionally well-nourished body can practice this method. Fang Han would never have dared to practice this recklessly before, but after his complete remolding, the 9 apertures golden elixir embedded near his heart was constantly washed by his blood, and he no longer feared any high-intensity training. With the 9 apertures golden elixir nestled near his heart, the moment he started moving, he could feel its medicinal energy merge with the heat of his body. His whole body felt as if it was soaked in warm water. A faint fresh fragrance filled his mouth and nose, and all aches and pains faded away. 1 jump, 2 jumps, 3 jumps, 4. Fang Han jumped ceaselessly. Every time he felt exhausted, the 9 apertures golden elixir near his heart would release a wave of warm heat, nourishing every inch of muscle and sinew in his body. After hundreds of jumps, Fang Han grit his teeth and did not stop. He started madly punching the hard rock instead. Bang! 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 Fang Han's fists hammered against the boulder again and again, fierce and violent like a mad bull. His skin split, blood spilled, his knuckles cracked loudly as if they would shatter any moment. The intense, searing pain nearly made him faint, but he grit his teeth and held on stubbornly. When his hands were reduced to a bloody pulp, he lifted his left and right legs and kicked the rock savagely. Crack! 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 His legs swelled up and turned black and blue from kicking the rock, their skin split open and bleeding. Then he rammed the rock with his whole body, every part of him, back, shoulders, waist, belly, chest, neck, slamming into the hard stone until he was covered in cuts and bruises from head to toe. Splash! After finishing all these exercises, Fang Han paid no heed to his injuries and dove hard into the dark river. He swam ceaselessly, fighting against the swirling currents and eddies in the middle of the river. He pushed his body to the absolute limit with all manner of high-intensity training, deliberately taxing it beyond its normal limits. This was absolutely devilish training. Even the young disciples of the Fang clan, who ate ginseng, bird's nest, and deer antler every day to nourish their bodies, could not withstand such brutal training. What was even more demanding was the willpower it required. Who could endure the agony that felt like dying every single day? But Fang Han forced himself to hold on, grinding his teeth through the pain. The 9 apertures golden elixir near his heart supplied a continuous stream of blood and chi. No matter how badly he was injured during training, even if his tendons were torn and bones broken, he would recover completely after a single night's sleep. He knew that the worse his injuries were, the more of the golden elixir's medicinal power he could activate. As his training intensity grew greater and greater, one day the entire 9 apertures golden elixir would melt completely. When that day came, his body would become truly unimaginably powerful. One day passed, then 2, then 3. Fang Han spent most of every night pushing his body through this brutal, high-intensity training to stimulate his vitality and draw out the medicinal power of the 9 apertures golden elixir. Gradually, his body grew stronger and stronger. His once lean, scrawny muscles filled out, each block of sinew became tight and solid, his limbs grew flexible and powerful. To the casual observer, he only looked a little sturdier than before, but Fang Han knew how much denser his muscles and bones had become. His weight had increased by a full 20 to 30 gene, 10 to 15 kilograms. After 10 days, when he practiced golden toe dives into water, he could gradually jump around carrying a 50 gene, even an 80 gene boulder. The second realm of mortal flesh is strength cultivation. It is the most foundational, yet also the most critical part of all cultivation, directly affecting one's future achievements in martial arts. The more pure and refined one's strength is, the greater one's future achievements will be. 100 gene. After a month, Fang Han could jump like a frog with a full 100 gene boulder on his back with ease. Each leap carried him 4 to 5 steps forward, and after 36 consecutive leaps, his face did not even flush, nor did he lose his breath. Deep footprints circled across the sand where he jumped. Ha! Then he tossed the 100 gene boulder straight up into the air, high enough to reach 2 or 3 men's height. When it came roaring back down, he lifted both hands, his bones and sinews creaking loudly, and caught the massive stone with sheer brute force. Break! With a low roar, Fang Han held the 100 gene boulder in one hand and slammed a heavy punch into a small tree as thick as a man's wrist with the other. The trees would snap immediately, split clean in 2 by the blow. Thud! He dropped the 100 gene boulder and stood tall on the spot. A faint imposing aura already emanated from him, and he no longer looked like the lowly slave he had once been. At this moment, he had finally completed his strength training. Every inch of his body, his limbs, waist, and abdomen had been fully exercised. I have reached the limit of the strength cultivation realm. That means I have stepped into the 3rd realm of mortal flesh, the movement's realm. I can now cultivate the pine crane longevity fist I stole, and practice all the forms of 7-star fist. My physical fitness is already twice as tough as the core disciples of the Fang clan. I have far more strength than them, so my moves will definitely be far more powerful than theirs. Fang Han clenched his fist, his knuckles cracking loudly, his voice brimming with confidence. Even core disciples of the Fang clan who had completed their strength training could not compare to the current Fang Han. For they nourished their bodies with ginseng and bird's nest, while Fang Han had the 9 apertures golden elixir. When it comes to arm strength, Fang Han could lift a 100-gene boulder with one hand and perform all kinds of movements, something the core disciples of the Fang clan could not do. Next, after he cultivated his forms and connected all the strength in his body into one, there was no telling how formidable he would become. Right now, the muscles in every part of Fang Han's body were like a pack of tigers and wolves that had not yet united. After practicing the forms, these ferocious beasts would become a well-disciplined, cohesive unit of elite warriors, even more incomparably fierce. Looking up at the stars in the sky, Fang Han sat cross-legged, gazing far into the distance to observe the orbits of the stars, to understand and comprehend the various forms of 7-star fist by Haichan had taught him. His mortal flesh cultivation was advancing by leaps and bounds. The 9 apertures golden elixir near his heart turned slowly as it was washed by his blood, releasing ever greater amounts of medicinal power. Meanwhile, within the sprawling, luxurious private residence of the Fang clan, which covered 1,000 mu, over 66 hectares, Fang Xianxia, the eldest miss of the Fang clan who had blasted by Haichan to death with the purple lightning Yin thunder blade, a woman as beautiful as the dragon princess of the undersea palace or the moon goddess, sat quietly. Beside her stood a heavily imposing middle-aged man with jade-green eyes, broad shoulders, and a thick build. This middle-aged man was none other than the patriarch of the Fang clan, the current governor of Longyuan province, Fang Zitao, and also Fang Xianxia's father. His cultivation had already reached the 10th realm of mortal flesh, divine transformation. But he was past his prime, his mortal body had already begun to slowly age, and would only grow weaker and more degenerate as time went on. Unless he obtained some extraordinary rare medicine, his cultivation would only regress, never progress. Right now, he did not put on much of a fatherly majestic air in front of Fang Xianxia. After all, his daughter was a peerless powerhouse in the mystic realm of divine powers. Father, I have become a true disciple of Yuhua sect. The sect master has granted me an independent mountain residence on Yuhua Immortal Mountain. I need to bring a group of loyal household servants there to clean the palace, tend to the alchemical furnaces, care for the plants and flowers, and feed the spirit beasts. Fang Xianxia said. Xianxia, you have truly become a true disciple of Yuhua sect? Wonderful, wonderful. Now the status of our Fang clan is completely secured. Even the emperor will do everything he can to win you over. It is no problem to bring loyal servants with you. You may choose any you like. Fang Zitao exclaimed in surprise. He knew full well what weight the title of true disciple carried. None of the Fang clan's ancestors had ever been a true disciple of Yuhua sect, only an outer sect disciple at best. Also, the heavenly punishment elder of the sect granted me several outer sect disciple spots as a reward for me becoming a true disciple. This is a rare opportunity. I will select several core disciples from our clan to go. Fang Xianxia said that. Outer sect disciple spots. Fang Zitao gasped in shock. Just at this moment, a voice called out suddenly from outside, Governor, Eldest Miss, the imperial edict from the court conferring the title of princess on Eldest Miss has arrived. It is waiting at the gate. Got it. Tell the edict to wait. I have business to attend to right now. Fang Xianxia waved her hand.